evening and welcome to Up South. We have a power-packed show this Friday evening with three big stories from Bengaluru, Chennai and Hyderabad. Our top story this Friday evening is from Bengaluru, where the college, an engineering college, the visuals that we are showing you will absolutely shock you. These are visuals of a principal of a college in Puram in Bengaluru actually caning his students and abusing them. Pratibha Raman sent us this exclusive story from Bengaluru.
Padma Raju is the principal at Bengaluru's SEA College of Engineering and Technology. But instead of being a mentor to his students, he is a monster. On Monday, when a senior student did not present his notes properly, Padma Raju went on a thrashing spree. Armed with a ruler, he mercilessly hit students on the arm and leg, even as the boy writhed in pain.
Who are not qualified like a principal. You can see the video that how the students have been tortured by him. Every day and every single day, each and single day we have facing this problem from past 13 years. Not even a student has complained because of their future. Seeing their future, have they not complained.
The violent beating, caning and abuse have been a part of the students' lives for 13 long years, ever since the principal Padma Raju took charge. Students claim that they have been caned and at several times even hit with an iron rod. Tired of the abuse and daily beatings, the students finally decided to film the principal's act on their mobile phones.
For every silly reason of his tension, we have been harmed. We have been hurt from him. We did not bring the books, did not wear shoes, did not iron the uniforms. We have been hurt by him.
Terrified students have not had the courage to complain against the principal yet.
We have observed this information from the TV display. I asked my Deputy Commissioner to verify this issue from that particular college. So far, there is no complaint has come forward. Therefore, we didn't register any case in the police station.
With Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Joining me now from Bengaluru is the student who obviously wants to keep his identity secret. He's the one who actually shot that footage on his mobile phone. Also, child rights activist Neena Naik to give us a perspective on this extremely disturbing story coming from Bengaluru. To you first, quite brave of you to actually come out and speak out and expose your monster principal. Now, for how long has this abusive behavior been going on by your principal?
From past 13 years, from IT has been started from 13 years. From past 13 years, all the students are facing this problem.
Right, but why would a principal beat up grown-up boys? You're all engineering college students.
Because he need all a silly reason. For his tension, he used to harm us. Just because the book has been torn, we are not shoes. We are not played our shoes. We are not ironed our uniforms. He used to hit us. For his tension, he used to hurt us.
Right. We also saw the visuals of your principal caning the students. Now, did he also was he also given to using very abusive language?
Yeah. While he was beating, he used to speak bad languages.
Right, but don't you have any forums within your college where you actually can approach and complain? Did you approach anyone in your college?
No one has been put this kind of complaint against him because all our certificates have been placed to him, all the original certificates. If we've been complaint against him to the management will take action on us. That's why, thinking of a future, none of the students have been not complained against him.
Right. Stay on with us. Neena Naik, you heard what the student has to say. He says that they were scared to approach the college management because the principal had the original certificates with them. Now, obviously, this kind of a situation will only push the students on the back foot, actually having to suffer extreme verbal and physical abuse.
Yeah, definitely. These are situations that are quite common. So I think there are already monitoring bodies like the Child Welfare Committee, the state commissions. There are legal provisions, frameworks that protect children like the Juvenile Justice Act Section 23, the IPC 324, 326, and even the Right to Education Act Section 17. So I think the police must immediately take suo motu cognizance. They have the Makkal Sahayamani backing them. Other child lines are there, and I think the police must file a case against the principal and arrest him, if possible, non-bailable, so that it sends the right message across all educational institutions in the country.
Right, absolutely. Are you scared, this question is to you, the student, are you scared that the college is owned by a powerful politician?
No, I'm not afraid about that people, because if I had been afraid, I had not come here.
Right, but the police say that you have not lodged any complaint against the college principal. So how do you really hope to resolve this issue?
Yeah, because I had not been gone to the police station is because the college is running by the politicians. If I go and say this is like this complaint has been occurred in our institution, they'll come to the management, they'll be saying like this as the students has been complained, the manager will take action on us. That's why I had not been complained to the police station. That's why I came directly to TV and I've been placed this video to everyone.
So did you plan on shooting this video as the only way possible, the only way out for you people, for you students to expose your principal?
Yeah, now I have been planned to go to the police because of this evidence. Because I got evidence like this first, if I go to the police station, they'll take action on us, they'll delete the video, they'll not make a witness of him. So that's why I came to first media, then telecast it to everyone, and then I'll go to the police station. I lodge a complaint on him.
Right. How many of you actually planned to shoot this video? I mean, how many of you actually planned this entire thing out?
Yeah, as a part of a plan of all our juniors, I've been took this video.
Right. Nina Nayak, what would you tell this student, or rather this group of students? Do you think they have done the right thing so far by shooting this video and showing to the world what kind of a principal they have in their college, and what should they do next?
Yeah, I think the children were just cornered. They didn't know what to do. This must have been repeatedly happening. They didn't know what else to do. And I don't think they have the voice. They're not empowered enough to know what they can do. And of course, they're scared. The certificates are there. And maybe even parents don't know. There must have been some, the school is trying to modify this behavior in this illegal manner. So I really think that parents must also support these children. Corporal punishment is not only in schools, in any setting. So I want these children to raise their heads, and if they cannot do it, so that you can avoid jeopardizing their future. At least the parents, the civil society, the police should come to their rescue, or to support them to do so.
Right. Nina Nayak and the student from the College of Engineering in KR Puram, Bengaluru, thanks a lot for joining us. We do hope that there is some kind of a good news for the students there, and the monster principal is actually taken to task. Thanks a lot for joining us. Now, 2 days back, we had brought you the story of the Vartur Lake in Bengaluru, which was literally foaming. There was so much of pollution, so much of untreated sewage which was being let out into that lake in Bengaluru. Now, today's story actually focuses on the vegetables which are actually grown on these lake beds, and the story is pretty much the same both in Bengaluru as well as in Hyderabad. In fact, a 2012 study by the National Institute of Nutrition in Hyderabad said that there are 18 pesticides which are going into the food cycle of every Hyderabadi when they eat their breakfast, lunch and dinner. And in Bengaluru, there is so much of phosphate in the water that the last decade has seen a dramatic increase in kidney failure cases. My colleague, Deputy Editor Rohini Swami, spoke to residents near the Vartur Lake to find out if they actually know that they are consuming poison in every meal.
The lakes in Bangalore have been so polluted that even a basic litmus test shows how acidic the water is, and that also shows the fact that the chemical composition, the component is very, very high. We're here to talk to some people who are, so if I can ask you, you are buying vegetables here, but the contamination, especially this area also falls under Vartur Lake. A lot of the farmlands with vegetables are grown there. Don't you think that you're actually consuming pesticides almost like slow there?
Of course we are, ma'am. So lot of the farmers, the local farmers, use the water from the lake, which is contaminated with sewage, and more often than not, the vegetables that we are buying are also contaminated. So it's almost like we are eating pesticides, and we are actually dying a slow death eating this vegetable.
What do you do? Because you have to, end of the day, it's basic food, sustenance. What do you do?
There's no option, ma'am. We just buy whatever we can. I don't think there is an option for us.
But there's an option of raising your voice, which people have done in terms of the fact that they say that the government authorities should sit up, but also people's voices could be heard finally.
We have been doing that all along. The issue has escalated recently because of the frothing that's happening in the lake, but the issue has been escalated all along. Yesterday, almost 20 news channels have shown the issue of the lake, but not even a single government authority has at least promised for action, leave alone taking some action.
So what they want, they don't want our empty promises. What they want is action. End of the day, clean food, clean water, clean air. That's all people are asking for, and that's the basic thing. Because when you elect elected representatives, that's all they're saying. The basic needs should be taken care of.
Right. Joining me now from Bengaluru is Dr. T.V. Ramachandran, scientist of the Indian Institute of Science. Also G.V. Ramanjanelu, agricultural scientist. Dr. Ramachandran, we saw in that report by Rohini Swamy that people are actually buying vegetables which are grown on the lake bed with full of untreated sewage. Now, that's a very terrible situation for Bengaluru.
See, one of the things we have kept telling the system is that the sustained inflow of untreated sewage into the water body is killing the water bodies in Bangalore. It is not just the problem of Vartur Lake. Even if you look at Bengaluru in the upstream, we have the similar problem. I think there are 7 or 8 lakes in Bangalore today have this froth problem. But only in Vartur it is highlighted. Mainly, I would say the credit should go to the local residents who have taken up the issue. When we look at this problem of the sewage, untreated sewage carries a large amount of nutrients. It has got N, and also the phosphates are there. See, the nutrient N comes from the protein what we eat, and phosphate comes from the detergents. So what we wash at home. See, there has to be a restriction on phosphate use in our country. Phosphate is a limited resource. See, like in US, there is a restriction on phosphate use in the detergent. I think if you look at from the resource point of view, it is not a good thing to use a phosphate for the detergents. So I think government has to take steps in that direction.
Right. Dr. Ramanjanelu, it's not just about Bengaluru. Even in Hyderabad, vegetables are grown which are really not fit for consumption, especially those which are grown in the contaminated Musi river bed.
This cannot be contained with. And one study which was done 3-4 years back by National Institute of Nutrition here shows that the heavy metal content in all the leafy vegetables which are sold in Hyderabad is very high. Similarly, the milk has the heavy metals. We also have seen in Pochampalli area where farmers were growing paddy using the Musi backwaters. Almost all the agriculture workers who are working in the field and the farmers have injuries, wounds below their knee level. Whenever they get into the waters, there are wounds which are happening, and all these heavy metals which are in the waters, they come back into the food chain. I think that's the most serious thing which we need to look into, and unless the pollution is stopped at the source level, it cannot be contained. No amount of regulation will work, and no amount of care taken by consumers also can help.
Now, Right. We saw in that report, Ramanjanelu, by Rohini Swamy, that many of the vegetables in the vegetable market were extremely green. Now, are they some of the telltale signs that people who are buying vegetables should look for? The colors are extremely bright, and those are some of the signs that people buying vegetables should look out for.
It's extremely difficult to distinguish physically. To a certain extent, some leafy vegetables can be distinguished because of the smell which they emanate. But for that, it's very, very difficult to identify based on their physical characters. Very difficult.
Right. It's a story that concerns all of us. Dr. Ramachandran and Dr. Ramanjanelu, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. We'll continue to track this story very closely and see whether the authorities in Bengaluru do something to clean up that lake and those lake beds. Kamal Haasan fans, as his Uttama villain was to release today on the 1st of May. And there is excitement building up, especially after the rave reviews the film received for its shows in the Middle East, where it released yesterday. But today, all the shows across South India were cancelled because apparently the producers of the movie had not paid some money to the financiers. Joining me now from Chennai is Shisha Reddy. Shisha, is there any word on when the film is going to release?
Well, Sudhi, the meeting is still underway between financiers and the crew of the Uttama Villain. The makers have been trying to get in touch with these financiers because, close to 29 crore rupees have to be settled is what we have been hearing unconfirmed reports. On the other hand, if I can give you confirmed information that happened last week where Tangam Cinemas from Chennai had put up an agreement, in fact, with Tirupati Brothers, the producers of Uttama Villain, saying that if the amount of 2.2 crore rupees is not been given to this particular group, the film will not be released and the copyrights will be given to them, and they are the ones who will have to decide about this film's release. But now this adds to a larger amount, so that is the reason that why the film has been delaying and the meetings are still underway. So
and what has been the reaction from the fans, Shisha?
Since early this morning. Well, that's right. So the fans have been waiting since early this morning to know what exactly is going to be the situation as far as this film is concerned, because they had put up banners and very disappointed. In fact, Kamal Hassan's film has been in a lot of controversies, and now right now the film has been stalled. So how do you feel? I mean, what is your emotion?
So this is not the first time which Kamalji is facing these kind of issues. I mean, he faced a similar kind of issue with Vishwaguru as well. Probably is too straightforward. I mean, that's not that's not people are expecting him. That's not the distributors, the producers are all expecting him to do so. But ultimately, I mean, some people are saying it's a distributor issue. Some people are saying it's a theatrical issue, and some people are saying it's a producer kind of issue. But ultimately, the people who are going to get affected is the people who are the fans of Kamal Hassan here. So they are the ones who are waiting from early morning till now without having any kind of information. And there is not even a single official statement from anybody. If this is the respect they are giving to us, I mean, I'm pity of myself here.
Right. So they're very miffed with. There is no information that's been available for these fans who have been waiting since last night. In fact, he has been putting up all the banners in this particular theatre. He's also from Kamal Hassan's Welfare Association.
Right.
What do you have to say?
We are not just Kamal fans. See, we are the Kamal devotees. So we are the people waiting at the theatre yesterday onwards. I mean the morning 7 o'clock yesterday, not today. Yesterday onwards we are waiting here. We did all the arrangements of hosting the banners, cutouts and garlanding, everything. But today in the morning we came to the theatre and we are really shocked, even heartbroken. So our
Shisha, I think the fans there in Chennai and other cities in South India will have to wait. Thanks a lot for joining us from Chennai, and of course we do hope there is some good news for all those Kamal Hassan fans there. Someone has really played a villain to the release of Uttama Villain there in Chennai and other cities of South India. Thanks a lot for joining us, Shisha. That's it then on Up South this Friday. Evening news and updates will continue on Headlines Today.